you have an issue with it, you can voice it. Go ahead.
Why are you coming in so hostile, man?
Well, no, hold on. To be clear, wait. Abba came to this call to argue. Really? Did he really just? Oh, he mad. Well, what's up? Sneako's
Sneako
Abba here.
Oh no, he's getting sturdy.
Actually, I'm over here instigating. That boy Sneako, he pissed right now. He's been mad all day.
Oh shit.
He's been mad. Look, he's
Abba's been riding too high on a lot of drama recently, okay? Between Ethan and Hassan and Sneako. I think somebody needs to knock Abba down a peg or two. His head's getting pretty big, so I'm here for it.
Yeah, y'all can feel free to start any second now. I'll say everything I said before. I'll say on stream. I'll say the motherfucker. I don't care. I'll keep the same energy. So y'all feel free to voice your discontent.
Yeah, talk your shit, Abba. Talk about it.
What do you guys want to talk about?
I'm just vibing. This is JiDion's stream. I don't know. What were you guys talking about before here? Factorio?
Well, you said you wanted to join and talk to Abba.
That was JiDion. That wasn't me.
Oh. Well, JiDion, what do you want to say to Abba?
JiDion, what do you want to say to Abba?
Then we're gonna switch up.
Okay, wait, hold on, real quick, because wait, real quick. I just got home, so I haven't watched any videos yet. You guys aren't all like talking mad shit on Twitter and YouTube videos, and now that you guys are in the same room, nobody wants to say anything, right? That's not what's happening right now, is it?
Well, I mean, listen, I said what I said, so there's an issue with what I said. We can talk about it.
Abba's made several videos saying some tasteful things about me.
Okay, well, Abba, what do you want to, Sneako, do you want to take him to task? Do you want to fight on a particular topic, or what? What do you
Well, no, it does well. It does well. Saying negative things about me is good content. So I understand. Go ahead. I mean,
what do you mean? You saw the video, so if you have an issue with it, you can voice it. Go ahead.
Why are you coming in so hostile, man? I understand why you're doing it. It's good content. Your viewers like to see it. They're like, yeah, Abba, you're the moral police. You stay consistent, Abba. You make me feel better.
Okay. All right. So let's get started. Speaking about me is so, it works, whatever, your passive aggressive voice. You realize the video that I did on you that has the highest amount of views is one in where I agree with you and I show you love?
No, the recent one, though, like the last 3 you did in the past week.
What about the last 3 I did? I just told you, you made the claim that negativity sells, so I understand why you did it, for the views or whatever. And I'm telling you that the highest viewed video that I have actually talking about you and what you were doing is a video where I show you love. So what is your reply?
What's the video where you show me love?
The video in which you were confronting some feminists on one of your 1-minute podcast interviews.
You were showing me love?
I was agreeing with you. I was literally going against the person that you were talking about and saying why you were making sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Right now, at this point, it's very profitable to say, like, well, I told you so, Sneako. You should have listened to me. I know better. And fresh and fit's bad.
Okay. Yes, I did tell you so, Sneako.
I mean, everyone, JiDion said that, Destiny said that, Andrew Tate said that, Bradley Martin said that. Everybody was aware that the way I'm talking is going to get me canceled, but you were incorrect about a lot of the information that you talked about. It wasn't that clip from me simulating or telling the feminist that she needs to get laid more. It was just an accumulation of a lot of misinformation and other. Man,
real quick on my opinion on that. The reason why I think it was that clip, and I understand that you might get banned for a particularly different thing, but when I'm trying to figure out why somebody got banned, I feel like the public makes the mistake and that they look at like, what did you violate in the TOS and what was the ban reason? But I think the most important thing is what catches people's attention, because once people have like your attention, like now you're gonna get banned for some shit. So like on Twitch, for instance, I probably got banned for some random transphobic thing or whatever, I guess. I don't know what they just said hate speech. But the reason I got banned was for fighting with Keffels. Because if I wouldn't have had that fight with Keffels, I wouldn't have had all the people mass reporting me and their eyes on me, et cetera, et cetera. But it was because of that fight that I got banned. So like, I feel like when you made that video, you remember that one curly haired kid that made the like, we need to ban Sneako for abusing women, blah, blah, blah. I think just from what I've seen, I could be wrong, but that seemed like the thing that got a lot of people like super riled up on Twitter and YouTube and shit, trying to like call for people to ban you and shit. So I'm curious if that was like the thing that led everybody mass reporting and shit. But I could be wrong, but
I mean, just to let the stream know, I do I am collaborating on a new channel ran by my editor. I'm frequently on there live streaming. He has me as a guest. So you can go find there. That's a way that I'm going to be able to stay on YouTube. Just collaborating as a guest on new platforms. That's where you can find me. There's a new channel that's doing pretty well right now. So go subscribe to there if you missed the old content.
What's the name of the new channel?
It's just called Sneako.
Okay.
Type Soldier of God, it pops up.
It does?
Yeah, I typed it in, it popped up.
Oh, okay.
But I guess it has to like register.
Yeah, it's pretty shadow banned right now. It's hard to find, but yeah, you can. I bet you could do some research.
All right. Well, you and Abba, you're here. This is it. The big showdown.
I don't know. Obviously, has a lot of 30-minute videos. I just was curious if he still had stuff to say while we're in the call.
No, I said everything I had to say. I mean, it's just a repetition of what I told you.
I didn't really watch the video. I saw the beginning of it. I'm like, okay, he's doing the thing that a lot of people are doing right now. I get it.
Cool. Well, if you didn't watch it, then we good. We have nothing to talk about, I suppose.
Or maybe you could have told me instead of making another hit piece video, like, while everyone's against me right now, while Big Tech's against me, all these soy boys, you could have sent a text or a call before making all these videos.
Hold up. So I texted you before I talked about the DJ academic stuff, and I texted you before. You remember I texted you, and I barely talked about you in that video. 1, 2. I didn't even make this video until you called me and you said, yo, how come you talk about this but not my deplatforming? I said, oh, well, if you want me to talk about the deplatforming, then I will. I already make the video before then. You told me to talk about it, and now that I've talked about it, you're like, well, why did you make a video about it?
I didn't tell you to talk about it. I said that on a commentary channel where you frequently talk about drama and that people you know in the community, that may be talking about how this is a problem that everybody can get wiped from all these platforms. And then also single out something that makes me look bad and makes it look like I'm committing essay on camera. That's really not the reason. I was banned off of pretty much every single social media site. It has nothing to do with that. I think that's a bigger issue than trying to equate it to like I told you so or fresh and fit. That's too simple of a video. But I understand it does well for your audience.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I did it for the views. And anything else? There's nothing else to talk about. If you think I'm doing this because it's for views, then we have nothing to talk about. What can I offer in this conversation?
If it's not for views, why do you think you're doing it?
But you're already convinced of why I'm doing it. You're so sure that I'm doing it for the views. This is, again, what I spoke about the video. You are incapable of taking accountability. In your own final message, you're like, oh, KSI is hating. Oh, look at him gloating. And basically what he said in the clip is, I told him he's moving mad. And that's your idea. No. That's your idea of someone hating on you or making fun of you.
That clip was edited improperly. I didn't edit the video. He went on Twitter and he replied, who? When Keemstar said that Sneako was banned on YouTube, he said, who? ? Which I think, is making fun of a situation where I got banned because he clearly knows who I am. We went back and forth. And so he's just trying to gloat and he's trying to make it about clout.
Okay, so let me ask you. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity right now. What do you think that you did wrong to contribute to your situation?
Of getting banned off of every social media platform?
Yes.
Tell the truth.
Okay, all right. Then this is my case in point. That's why I made the video. You are unable to see the ways in which you contribute to your own outcomes, and you just think you're just telling the truth.
You are unable to see why I got the strikes. You didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about the first strike was COVID misinformation. The second strike was election misinformation.
Yeah.
And the third one was cyberbullying for a clip that was not even what you played in the video. It had nothing to do with that.
Listen, once you made that clip on that girl, you know what happens? She talks to her manager. Her manager goes to YouTube, and YouTube finds a way to go after you without making her implicated. The reason why they didn't cite that clip is they didn't want your fans to go after her so you can quote her. YouTube has good ways of working. They won't actually claim what it is exactly for. They understand you've broken the rules, and then they work backwards. You don't understand that once you made that video, YouTube was looking at you all kinds of crazy. Now, you don't need to believe that. You can believe it's something else. You can believe it's what's telling the truth. I'm just wondering, when are you going to come into this conversation and take accountability for why you are where you are?
You said yourself it was when I was being played in the Senate. It's much bigger than just one feminist getting mad at me.
Okay. So why haven't I been banned? Why hasn't Destiny been banned? Why hasn't anybody else on the is it because we're all bots?
Well, you play the middle ground. You don't really try to talk about stuff that's going to make people uncomfortable.
Okay.
You don't talk about the issues that you don't question the powers that be, and you don't talk about the uncomfortable truths that are really happening.
Okay, what about Destiny?
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask. Hold on.
What about Destiny?
Wait,
What
hold
about
on. To
Destiny?
be clear, my advice to you is not the same, okay, as Abba, who's a bot, okay? My only advice typically is that, and I think I'll repeat the same thing I said all the time, is, and I take this as my own advice, is only fight with one person at a time. I think I've even told you that on stream. I think off stream before. As long as you fight with one person at a time, usually okay. But when you start dipping into like 2 or 3 or 4 different communities, shit gets like really because like it's kind of Abba basically just resaid what I had said before, or we're saying the same thing, that like when you do one really bad thing and people start to like, you catch their eye, people start to look for everything to axe you off of anything, and you'll start getting like, it's happening right now with a bunch of lefty YouTubers, actually me and Vosh, where people are just going through and like spam reporting every single video in our VODs because they don't like whatever shit. That's always like the thing to be careful of. But like, hold on, when you say like, I have to stand up for myself, okay, for a second. When you say like, don't speak truth to power or don't like make people uncomfortable, you understand that when you're talking about me, that's a really silly thing to say, right?
You
like,
make people uncomfortable, but not the powers that be. Because it wasn't just YouTube. I was wiped off of every single social media platform except for Instagram. There's a reason that happened. There's a microscope on me.
okay, well, hold on. I don't want to like make this a dick waving competition, but like I've been banned off TikTok, I've been banned off Twitter, I've been banned off Twitch. Like how many social media platforms have you been banned off of?
All of them except for Instagram.
I've only been banned off 3.
Have you? Oh, did you up? Oh, speaking of Twitch, actually, real quick.
Wait, I got banned on Twitch for in 2 days.
What was your
reason.
ban for on Twitch?
Ban evasion?
Did you ever appeal that?
Yeah.
What did they say when you appealed?
They haven't replied, and it's been like 2 weeks.
That's weird.
Ban evasion for an account you never had before?
Yeah, because if you didn't have an account,
I never streamed on Twitch. No, so it's very clear that they don't want me. I'm talking about shit that they don't want to hear.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure somebody played that clip of you doing that to that girl, and they said, we don't want you doing that about Pokemon or anybody else, and they said, this guy gotta go.
I think it's bigger than that clip. I think that's simplifying it for the audience that you have. I think it's much bigger. I think you're overlooking the COVID and the election misinformation part, which the first 2 strikes I got that happened even before that clip happened.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't speak to those 2 strikes. I will say that anytime I heard you speak about COVID or when you were... Hold up. Let me finish. When I've heard you speak about COVID stuff or election stuff, you didn't know what you were talking about 95% of the time. I think there's a giant difference between someone's talking about edgy research or things that are counter to the popular narrative, and then what you were doing was just rambling about shit you didn't know about. Yeah, you sounded like a loony conspiracy theorist half the time you spoke about these. And if somebody else won't tell you, I will. So I'm not surprised they nailed you for that. There's sympathetic cases in which I think people make sensible cases against the COVID narrative, but you're not one of them. You were never one of them. You schizo about it.
This information is being posted all the time online. You can make an Earth is Flat documentary. You can make all these conspiracy theories, but why are only certain conspiracy theorists labeled as harmful, and why are only certain conspiracy theorists taken off and removed? If you think I sound like a lunatic, but why is it that mine is the one that gets removed and other people, it's fine?
No, people who spread nonsense conspiracies get removed off YouTube every day. They just don't get to be as big as you. They didn't come in on the platform on some other shit where they were doing 1 minute podcasts that were like very kosher, and then once they had a big platform, all of a sudden they start talking loony conspiracies. But I can assure you, YouTube removes every single day a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists who talk just as bad as you, if not much worse.
What did I say that was nonsense?
Bro, if I'd have watched you talk about COVID, I knew you didn't know what you're talking about.
What? Tell me something specific.
Bro, I'm not going to pull up the clips. I just tell you
then
that.
Don't say it's nonsense. Don't overwrite it as like lunatic conspiracy theories if you can't say one thing I said that's nonsense.
Well, so hold on. So because I do a lot of vaccine studying. So like basically every comment you made about vaccines was like calling it the jab, saying that it was like government mandated shit that wasn't going to help you or make you feel any better. I don't know if you used the word poison ever in regards to it, but like basically everything you had to say about it was even like it. So like here's like a comparison I make, and I hate this guy and I disagree with him, but have you heard of like Brett Weinstein?
Yeah.
That dude is I'm pretty sure that guy is pretty vaccine skeptic, and he's talked about a lot of vaccine related issues, but I think he's still on. I think he literally has a show on YouTube. But he probably brings up like a lot of the points that filter down to you, but he says it in a way less inflammatory way. It doesn't sound like he's just like going crazy, like screaming about vaccine. It's
not really what you say, it's how you say it. Because Abed cannot give any specifics. He says overall it's nonsense, it's conspiracy theorists, lunatic garbage. But if I'm saying similar things to Brett Weinstein and I removed it, it's pretty much...
No. What you just said...
How you say it, not what you say.
What you just said...
If it triggers the bots, then they're going to remove it.
Yes.
If I'm too aggressive, if I'm too mean about it, then they got to remove it. Because people get...
Yeah, but what you just said is that's not only true on YouTube, that's true in life, right? Like how you say things sometimes is more important than what you say. In fact, you should know this from like your pickup artist shit, right? Or from like Red Pill stuff in terms of talking to women or whatever. Like sometimes it's not exactly what you say. Sometimes it's how you say things. But that's true everywhere. there's no place in life where that's not true, right? Like if I got a guy that I'm talking about and some guy's like, oh, is this guy very smart? And I'm like, of course he's not smart. He's a dumb fuck, right? That sounds a lot different than somebody saying like, is that guy smart? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, like he comes from like a really background. The guy never went to school, single mom or whatever. You know, like, yeah, he doesn't know a lot about finance. Now I'm saying the same thing, but it's way fucking different, right? Somebody's gonna hear the first thing and they're gonna lose their mind. They're gonna say, oh yeah, shit, okay, of course I understand, right? Even if it's the same thing, like how you phrase things or how you approach things. It's not so much that you're giving different information. Instead, it makes the intention behind the information look a lot different. So like there are some vaccine skeptic people that like I hear them talk and I hate what they say, but it's probably coming from like a decent place, like a well-meaning place. But there are other vaccine skeptic people I hear where it's like, oh, this guy's just like filled with like vitriol and hate, and that's all he's about. Not necessarily saying you are, but I'm saying like how you say things is pretty important.
Okay. I think I proved my point by saying Abba labeled me as a crazy lunatic conspiracy theorist and could not say one thing.
Yeah, because you know what? When I hear retarded shit, I try not to keep it in my memory. And you said so much retarded, dumb stuff on your streams. I just would erase it immediately afterwards.
Destiny, you've heard this repeated in your panels. XQC said dumb shit. That other guy on the Muda, the Indian dude, said it's retarded. And every single time, I was like, okay, what's dumb about what I said? And nobody knows anything. They just don't like the way I said it, so they label it as retarded and write it off instead of listening to what I'm saying. Because it doesn't matter to them. They'll low bro me because they're 35, and they think that they know more than what I'm talking about, and they've been brainwashed to this point where they don't feel like they need to listen to me. But it's fine. They never know why they think I'm retarded. They just say I'm retarded, overwrite me, and then move on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's generally how it works. When I watch something that's incredibly stupid on somebody's stream, I turn it off and move on to the next thing. And so, no, I'm gonna finish.
If you're a commentary channel, maybe you should have some points to bring up.
If you want me to do an actual debate with you where I go and grab clips, I would normally, but everything's deleted, so a little bit hard to quote all the dumb shit you said. But absolutely, I would watch your stuff. I'm like, this is inaccurate, and I would just move on, stop watching it. Now you could go watch a debate with Destiny, and you could probably find a bunch of stuff that you said that was dumb. Just because I can't quote it to you doesn't mean you didn't say it. Just because my memory can't remember doesn't mean it didn't happen.
You're getting a little heated about it. I can remember all of Destiny's points that he brings up and tell you why I think he's wrong about it.
Okay, well, congratulations. You got a better memory than me.
Yeah, I know, but for you to have such a strong opinion about what I believe and to say it's dumb, stupid, retarded, and all this, and then not know one reason is pretty predictable. And we've heard it over and over again. DGG, everybody in this chat has heard it over and over again. I'll question people, why do you think it's stupid? They don't know.
I think there's a different barrier for like the expectation of knowing particular things depending on the environment you're confronting somebody at. So like no, hold on. So like here's the thing, right? So this is something that I'll repeat a lot on stream. So my first relationship, well, my second one, my kid's mom, got really physically abusive. There's a lot of crazy shit that happened. And we fought over the dumbest things. It was so stupid every fucking time. It was like the most random stupid shit. But and it was a lot. I called the cops on her 3 times. It was a crazy relationship. But if somebody would say, oh, really? You fought over dumb shit? What'd you fight over? Name 2 things. I actually don't know if I could. I don't know. I don't remember the specifics. I think as humans, I think we remember kind of these broad like characterizations of things, but we don't archive like every single individual fact because we're not computers. We usually come away from a feeling. We usually come away from an event with a certain feeling or emotion about it, and that's all we really take with us.
I like how Abba did going into this call, with a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings about how I'm stupid, but nothing to back.
Well, no. Hold on. To be clear, wait. Abba came to this call to argue. Really? Did he really just? Oh, he mad. Wait, is my stream dead? Wait.
Oh, I think he left.
Yeah, that's why I just said really.
Yeah, he said I came into this call to argue and do this. I didn't come to this call.
No, yeah, fuck. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, to be clear, Abba came into this call to chat with me and Dan about. Oh well, fuck.
See, this guy always runs away from accountability. That's why I find these red pill dudes often really cringe to me. It's like all accountability for women, none for themselves. Bad things happen to you, it's always the world. Like, I can't take you seriously as a man when you get up on this stream and you're crying about how things have happened to you, but you don't see the ways in which you contributed. Even when I f up, I understand. Like, listen, I remember this happened to me maybe 5 years back, right? Mm-hmm. I ended up getting jumped when I left a club at one point, okay? What had happened was that?
I just wanted to say bye. I'm about to go get something to eat.
Okay. All right, man. Go enjoy yourself.
Love you, buddy.
So,
wait, are you guys in Miami right now, or?
Yeah. I'm in Miami.
Okay, cool. We might, if you want to get something to eat later when he's less mad. I'm here for a week and a half, so. But yeah.
Miami?
Yeah, I live down at I think I live like 5 minutes west of you guys. Yeah.
All right. You know, you guys want to hear something? Mm-hmm. I think you guys are gonna be proud of me.
Go for it. What's up?
I've realized I'm not a debater. I'm a master debater.
Nice.
And I just realized, man, I know my lane, so I'm gonna let you guys do the debating stuff. I'm gonna gladly watch with my popcorn, mouth full. But you guys have a W stream. Chat, W's in the stream right now. Spam the W's up, chat, right now. All right, bye, Alba. Bye, Destiny.
Alba, when you want me on your dating show, you can talk to me nice again. Bye.
Damn.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm out too.
Oh yeah. No, sorry, dude. You're in the middle of a bunch of wild stream drama. Don't worry. We're and in the streamer world, we're all Kanye West. Just it is what it is.
It's just, bro. I came on the street to talk economics and record labels, and then it turned into like, bro, quote the dumb stuff I've said before.
You understand. My empathy drives on working on Max here. I'm sympathetic for him and empathetic to some extent because like he probably had one of the biggest ricochets of like a rubber bands in career terms of like all time, right? Like he went from like being kind of like decently popular to grow, and in the past year he shut up immensely, had a 6-figure month on YouTube, and then next month was deleted off the internet. Right.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I can understand him not wanting to feel like I don't want to hear this shit right now about how like it's my fault and I need to do this and blah blah blah. Like everybody's after me, everybody's out to get me. I can understand that emotional response. I always say like in debates, I don't expect anybody to change their mind immediately. I wouldn't. I don't. I'm stubborn. But yeah, at some point he needs to he has to step back and be like, okay, what is like within my control? Like what can I do? You know, like. When because I've gotten banned from so much shit at this point. Like when I get banned, my first day I'll always say this like I'm gonna be mad as fuck. I'm gonna blame the world because fuck the world and it's not fair and it's bullshit. And I'll complain about that and I'll feel that. But then like day 2 is like, okay, well what can I do now? Because there's no point in crying over spilt milk. I'm not gonna be sad over shit that's happened. Life isn't fair, but so the fuck what? Like let's see what we do next. What other platform can we build? How can I change my behavior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have to be able to do that second step or else. Like my worry for Sneako is he's gonna be a guy like basically ranting about the Matrix, to 45 viewers on Rumble, 6 months from now, blaming like everybody else. And then he's gonna get banned from Rumble somehow when they get bigger and pick up sponsors, and he's gonna be like, this is bullshit. Andrew Tate abandoned me.
The reason why I'm mad is I think it's sad. I think it's so avoidable, and we all said it was avoidable. That's why I'm mad.
Yeah, as soon as he started fighting with like KSIs and like started to get more unhinged and like fighting with every single fucking person, and like wasn't like willing to like chill just a little bit, like cool your jets.
It's like watching somebody who drinks and drive get in a car accident, and then you ask him why, and then they say the other driver was stupid. It's like, bro, you don't see it, and you're gonna keep drinking and driving. Okay, then go do whatever you want to do. At some point, I'm not gonna emotionally invest myself into making sure. And like, he got mad at me because I didn't cover the topic.
Well, probably because he was asking, he probably wanted favorable coverage. That's probably what he was.
Which is such bullshit. Don't ask me for that. If I don't say nothing, it's generally because I have nothing positive to say most of the time.
Sure.
That's why that was me doing you a solid. I didn't open my mouth because if I would, I'm not going to get here and do some fucking,
PR stuff for you, basically.
I don't do that for nobody. I'm not going to do that. So I was hitting up offline, be like, yo, be careful. He didn't want to hear. He said, yo, these guys are whack. They didn't cover. I said, you want me to cover it? I'll cover it and I'll say the truth. Now, you don't need to like it. I don't really care at this point. But to me, there's just something really annoying about people who just expect everybody else to take accountability but don't understand their own involvement in situation. I get what you're saying about being maximum empathy, but at some point when everybody warns you what it is, and it's a different thing if something happens to you randomly, and then someone's like, yo, this is your fault. I can understand you being salty about that.
Yeah.
When like everybody's warning you. Everyone on the face of the planet's telling you you're going too fast and you don't give a shit. And then afterwards, you want to act all mad about everything, bro. You miss me. You lose a lot of my sympathy at that point.
I think it's funny.
We all saw you.
Yeah, I think there's probably a stream clip as soon as it's fun. I think I literally said exactly to him that like, bro, you got to be careful because when you're on top and everybody's behind you, you'll feel like the wind is in your sails and you can take on the fucking world. But as soon as like the tides turn a little bit, you're going to be the loneliest motherfucker on the planet. And it always happens. Nobody has the internet jerk wave in their favor forever. Like the tides turn, like the waves ebb and flow. You can't pull that shit off forever. And you have to be like in a comfortable spot so that like when people start to hate on you, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I can chill or whatever. But if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, once the like waves are against you, like it's always the end. That's like the death knell for like every content creator that dies that way.
Yeah, and there's two separations when it comes to like what's smart and what's right. And I try to make that distinction in the video. I'm like, I think it's absolutely wrong that he got deplatformed.
For sure, I agree. Yeah,
but there's a difference between that and what's smart. I agree you shouldn't get deplatformed. But if you're out here simulating yourself, fucking other people, if you're talking about COVID during a pandemic where, YouTube is extremely sensitive about all this information and you don't do proper research, and you don't like think about what the fuck that is that you're saying, when you're doing that, you're playing stupid.
Yeah, it's wild as fuck, but I actually can't believe I'm saying this. This is like a weird thing, but do you know who Low Tier God is?
Yes, I do know who he is.
Yeah, that guy actually, every single thing he's had to say on stuff related to this is completely right. He's like, bro, like, people don't want this shit on their platforms. Like, it's as simple as that. And until you need to start looking at it like that. Like, what do they want on their platforms? If you're trying to think of like, well, what's right and what's moral and what's, supposed to be blah, 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 like, you're fucked. You're like, that's not how these platforms work. They're thinking about like their business, about their bottom line, and they don't want to carry like ultra risky content and shit. And that's just the facts. Yeah. But,
I mean, that's a tough truth. I don't know. I just don't understand this kind of autistic, like, this is the truth and I'm going to say no matter what. And because I believe it, it's like, you know what? Everything you say comes with a certain level of responsibility, especially when somebody's paying your bills. It's like, you got to understand how you're talking about these topics because it affects their bottom line. So you got to be smart. I'm not saying you can't say what you want to say, but if you're not even going to take the time to think it through, I mean, the business is going to act in its own interest. I don't think it's right, but it's just like, how do you think this kind of stuff should unfold in your opinion?
For me, like, how should people like Sneako be dealt with?
No, what can we reasonably expect from platforms? I'm not asking
idealistic. I think platforms need to fucking nut up. Okay, the idea, like, I just think platforms are pussies these days. I understand the expectation is going to act like pussies, but like when fucking Google is like pulling shit from people off of YouTube, like, bro, nobody's going to stop using fucking YouTube because Sneako's on YouTube. Like, don't be fucking crazy. Like I feel like platforms, for some reason, they give in so easily. And like, I really don't. I know people say, oh, public pressure, blah, blah. I don't think the public pressures are that much. I think the platforms are just super babies about it. But I mean, like, that's how they're going to act. I understand. Yeah.
You remember Adpocalypse happened?
Yep.
Somebody started reporting the fact that there's a bunch of weird stuff on YouTube, and all of a sudden advertisers start pulling their dollars.
Yeah.
Do you remember that, right?
I think that was in response. Was that the Jake Paul shit, or was that before that?
I think it might have been something else. I can't remember what the thing is. Now, imagine how easy it is for anybody to say, this is what male creators are doing on YouTube. They run his clip. How many advertisers do you think are going to pull?
No, I mean, I understand. Like, it could get bad. It's always random. You never know. But like, yeah, it could get really bad, of course.
Right. Because that's stuff that's kind of hard to defend, or how hard to,
Yeah, no, I agree. But the only thing that sucks is that, like, at some point you would hope, and I know it's naive maybe, but like, you'd hope that like companies would take like some sort of like principled stance on things. And it's like, well, maybe it's important that we have like edgy content, or maybe it's important that we don't like, like, I think that.
Whoa.
What?
Just like 30 minutes ago, you and Dan were fighting me tooth and nail on like some kind of pro-capitalist thing where companies will fuck over anybody to make their bottom line and make all their investment back. You don't think YouTube operates in that capacity at all?
Yeah,
you're talking about principles of a company, and like just earlier, just talking about like it's a capitalistic investment when it comes to artists and how they treat them.
Yep. So the difference is that like different people or different entities can bear different things. And I tend to judge people on what they can bear. So like when I say that like I don't really approve of gambling that much, I don't think I take a gambling sponsor, and I end up doing it and people judge me for it, it's like, that's fair, you can judge me. I make a lot of fucking money. I don't need to take a gambling sponsorship to survive, right? But if there's like a 200 viewer streamer and they're like, oh, I don't know how I feel about gambling, and then a big sponsorship comes by and 200 viewers, damn, that's a lot more to that person. I can understand their situation being a bit more compromised. I don't know if the entire music industry could exist offering every individual talent preferable contracts. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. But I do know that Google could have more of a backbone and resist some sort of advertiser pressure for at least a little bit, to show that like, hey, listen, like, we can have a diversity of content. People aren't going to fucking mass leave the platform. Like, it's bullshit that you guys are having this reaction. I think most of you come crawling back. Like, I think Google could bear it a bit more, but that's just how I view it.
I mean, it certainly could if Google was like a person with individual principles, but I think as a company, it's just really thinking about profits for the most part. I think its principles or whatever it professes, I think we both know that shit's secondary if non-existent. So
of course, but I mean, the
way YouTube acts is exactly how I would expect the capitalistic company that you guys described earlier to act. Which
but the hope,
I'm going to prioritize profit.
Yeah, the hope would be that in like it, for the long-term health of the market, like, we're not, if we keep running down this path, it's probably not going to be where we want to be. It's probably not a good thing, right?
Oh, I agree.
Because like, look at like today, like
Ethan got fucking introducing ethics into how companies run the business.
And Ethan just got like hit for a week from fucking YouTube. He probably feels mind fucked right now. Vosh took 2 strikes on his channel. He's feeling mind fucked right now. Like, it seems like this shit is starting to like bleed over to like fucking everything, which is getting a little bit spooky, I think.
I also, one thing I reject the whole notion that like one person monopolizes the truth. One thing that Sneako does that I find absolutely cringe is like, I'm just telling the truth. I'm always the one who's telling the truth. And it's like, wait, so you think everybody else who's on that panel when you were speaking in front of Congress or whatever, do you think everybody else there doesn't speak any form of truth? It's only you? And I think in his head, he really believes that. I'm like, Destiny, you don't think that you take on hard topics even just as much as Sneako?
No, yeah, I need to stick up. I said I was going to stick up for somewhere. I get Trainwrecks does that shit a lot too, where people will be in rooms and be like, I'm the only one that stands up for hard things. Like, bro, no, it's not. You're just wild, okay? I stand up for a lot of hard things. I've taken a lot of big revenue hits and shit. I got departnered over my Rittenhouse comments. I got fucking banned from Twitch that I've been on for 12 fucking years. Like chill. Like, all you're out here doing is like repeating shit that you heard on the fucking Joe Rogan podcast. Don't act like you're taking hard positions. Like, you've done like 2 seconds of reading on these topics. Fuck you. No, yeah, it's kind of dumb, I think, when people go for shit like that.
Yeah. What else was there? I think that pretty much covers that whole situation. Yeah, I think one thing that he said that I remember I got really annoyed with was when he said, this you can see in the video, I pretty much quote it, but he says, if you guys really cared, because he says, like, Abba calls me sometimes, he says he cares as he's giving me advice privately. If you really cared, you'd talk about my deplatform. And my thing was like, bro, when I was giving you advice offline to how to keep your channel and keep things running, you didn't think that was caring at all? Like, sometimes I think the people expect you to show appreciation for them is to either like suck off what they say or to like support anything they do irrespective of how wrong they are. And to me, that's not really supporting somebody. To me, that's not actually being, somebody who cares about somebody.
Yeah,
I have to be able to tell you the truth when you're acting stupid, and I have to be able to tell you like some like uncomfortable stuff, even if you end up hating me, because that's what it means, in my opinion, to care about someone.
Yeah, of course. I say this all the time. You don't want like a friend group of dick riders because like you're never gonna get good advice, and then one day you're gonna be left like completely fucked, wondering what happened, and it's like, well, nobody around you had the actual like balls to tell you like what you needed to hear,
Yeah. So I think that was like one thing that bothered me. And I think that's probably why I got a bit emotional when he's on my case, because I'm just like, bro, I don't waste my time talking to people offline. Like, I can count on probably at one hand how many creators I really talk to offline. So if I take time, obviously, this like, and you just spit that in my face like, oh, you don't give a shit, then I'm like, bro, you can't be helped. And I don't even think this is a relationship that we should keep going, because I don't think I can do much more. You get me? So I think that's probably why I got annoyed. But yeah. I think that's the extent of what I got on that topic. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate because I think there's a potential there to do a lot of good go forth. But, if people want to squander it because they don't want to listen to nobody, then like, what can you do? Another thing that pissed me off too? It was like you and I would say some shit, and this guy would be like, oh, you guys are bots, you're blue pilled, whatever. Andrew Tate would repeat the same thing. All of a sudden, he's sucking his dick. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, fuck. No, dude. Oh,
get the fuck up out of here. No. I played clips back to back of what Andrew Tate said, what I said, and this dude had so much smoke when I said it. I'm like, ooh.
Wait. Are you talking about when Tate was talking about the college shit?
You'll go to school. The very talented kids will be taken to the side. You're the top 1%. You're going to a separate class. And if you're not put in that separate class, you ain't You're just like, okay, I'm working in the factory. Yes, sir. That's my job. And you're just going to do your job because the ego ain't there. So the ego is a fantastic thing for America, but it's also a detriment. So it can play both ways. But
I think if you know the value that you bring to the world, you understand what you bring, then you could kind of put yourself in a position to win, because we're not all going to be, like you said, leaders. Some people are followers. So.
But this is my point. When everyone has an ego, everyone wants to be the king on the chessboard.
Yeah.
You don't win.
I feel like when I was talking to Sneako, didn't I actually use the exact phrase like too many chiefs and not enough Indians? Probably because society works better when you've got a lot of followers and just a few leaders. If you've got a society full of people
right?
Yeah, if you got a society full of everybody wants to be a leader, too many chiefs, not enough Indians is a saying, right? Then like society would probably fall into fucking disarray. Everything would be fucked, would be my guess. Like there's a name for this. Like it's a well-observed thing where everybody thinks they want to be a leader and everybody wants to blah, blah, blah.
The chess game by having endless kings, that just gives you a bunch of vulnerabilities. Everyone has to know their role and play it. I've played the role of fucking pawn, knight, my whole life. I was pawn, knight, bishop, rook.
No, I didn't talk about the call. I didn't see that clip.
Oh, dude, oh my god, I almost lost my mind. So we're watching this clip of like the emergency meeting bullshit or whatever, and Andrew Tate is talking about how like, yeah, I think like, you got to find what you're good at and you've got to do it. And I think Sneako says something like, oh yeah, but like everybody's got to be a superstar, like you should go for the max. And Andrew Tate was like, No, of course not. Some people, their role in life might be to be like a really good auto mechanic or something. Like, not everybody has to be like the top. Like, it doesn't work when you've got everybody wanting to be a leader. Like, you need a lot of followers. Like, you know, when I was this, I played my role. I went to the gym. The guy told me to punch the bag. I did it for, you know, 10 months and I didn't think about it, blah, blah, blah. And Sneako said nothing the whole time. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like saying almost verbatim like some of the lines that like me and Abba were giving him in the college debate. And he like, we just sat there and took it all. I was like, oh my God, I'm so triggered right now. Yeah. Also,
where's the truth then? If you always keep the truth, why didn't you keep that same energy? I'm like, bro, you see? So when it's somebody you need something from, all of a sudden you start quiet. That's the shit that really like annoyed me, especially when he tries to monopolize the fact that he's always a truth teller. I'm like, bro, miss me with it. You gonna say something?
No, yeah, I agree. It's just, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It's just like, come on, bro. But anyways, that's not something you have to stay on. It's just those little tiny things that I'm like, you don't see anything you did wrong in all of these things? No? Okay. Then I'll let this go.
And you don't have to see things you did wrong. Fuck it. You don't even need to be like, you can keep your ego. Just, do you see something you could have done differently? Right? That's at the end of the day, like, at least figure that out, you know?
Which is wild because you see Andrew Tate comes out afterwards and recognizes the way his messaging was wrong.
Dude, okay, yeah, I was gonna okay, you just asked me what we were gonna say and I wasn't gonna say that, I didn't bring it up, but yeah, no, you're right, because I was gonna say, and I don't want to do this because it feels like I'm trying to lowbrow or do some weird shit or like throw Tate in his face, but you're 100% right. I watched Andrew Tate's whole apology shit, and everything he said was like, this is the perfect PR statement. It's the best PR statement I've ever heard in my life. Hopefully he believes some of it, or he believes all of it, maybe ideally, right? But like, yeah, him talking about like, even though I've got a, you know, a certain message, I need to be careful when a lot of people are listening to me and blah, blah, blah. Andrew Tate's message was perfect. Like, I almost want to say like, bro, Sneako, just go listen to what Andrew Tate said about everything. He was 1,000,000% right, and copy that advice. Because it's honest to God, the best advice, that clip or that like video of Andrew Tate talking about going from a small creator to a huge creator and having responsibility in your messaging, that was probably the best like explanation of that I've ever heard in my life, given by Andrew Tate. And it's golden advice, but I, you know, to throw that in his face, I think it would come off as like me being like a told you so. Everything probably feels like that to him, but yeah.
I mean, at this point it does, but I think part of being, I don't know, a grown-up is understanding like you got to be able to hear some of the shit, even though it's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
But yes, what Tate, like, I was really impressed when I saw the Tate video in that regards because to me it did sound sincere, so that's why I give him extra bit of credit. But it is a very mature thing to do because he could have said, "I'll let my nuts hang and fuck all you guys. I'm Tate. I live in Bucharest. I got millions." But he didn't do that. He said, "You know what? With reflection and talking to other people, I realized that my messaging wasn't the best, that I allowed myself to easily be misconstrued, or, you know, I should be more cognizant of what I sound like in front of millions of people because opportunity for people to misunderstand if I'm not careful with my words is much larger." And I'm like, yeah, that's a sensible, responsible take. But the fact that it came from Angel, I was like, that's great. I'm just wondering, like, why wouldn't you think of emulating that or thinking that's a good thing? And that was part of my video as well. It's like, yo, Angel did it, what you can't see. So that's why when he came on today, I was hoping. But I also understand maybe it's because it's fresh. I don't know.
I'm hoping. I mean, like, maybe I'm like a Sneako fanboy, I guess. But I'm like hoping in like a month or two, he just needs to fucking pump the brakes in the meantime. But like in a month or two, I'll be like, okay, yeah, like I thought about this. Like I need to change up in this way and that way and try to work on rebuilding in a more responsible way. Like I hope that he can do that. But I mean, who knows? We'll see, I guess. It's hard when everybody around you is like saying, "I told you so," and you feel like the world's against you, and everything seems to be reinforcing the ideas you have about the world, right? Like in his mind, you realize when he gets banned from these platforms, in his mind, everything he said was true. It is the Jews, it is the Senate, it is everybody out to get him. Like it's just being reinforced over and over again. And it's like, yeah, I know why you feel that way. Like I've had that feeling too, that the whole fucking world is against you, of course. Like, but yeah. Okay, go. Final thoughts, whatever. I've got Mr. Rose Wrist here, and then I've got another Mr. Girl here that I think wants to chat.
Nah, I got no final thoughts, man.
Okay.
Enjoy your conversations with whoever it is. And is Dan still here? No, Dan's not here. Well, it was a good chat, so enjoy yourselves.
Okay, love you, buddy. Be careful. Bye.